In the last exciting episode of Plain Song, Even Song, we remembered the feast of St. Joseph. And today we remember the visit of the angel Gabriel to the Blessed Virgin Mary. So this week we are turning our attention to Mary, as I said at the beginning of the service, and to the realization perhaps that it's only 9 months until Christmas. Today's feast day marks the Annunciation from God via the angel Gabriel to Mary that she will bear his son. The feast of the Annunciation has been celebrated in the church since at least the late 4th century, and there is quite a lot of liturgical art associated with it. There are some wonderful illustrations dating from the 13th century. One which depicts Mary wrestling with Satan, with baby Jesus egging them on in the background. And there's another one of Mary punching Satan to the ground. Both of these images will be available for you to peruse in the next edition of the Chronicle. If the Feast of the Annunciation actually happened in 2021, maybe Mary would have taken a selfie with Gabriel and posted it as her profile picture on Facebook, or maybe on Insta, or I don't do Insta, but on Instagram or something similar. The Annunciation was a day that changed the world, especially for Mary. To be visited by an angel was probably the very last thing she expected to happen. Mary would have been incredibly anxious about all this news. How would Joseph react to the announcement? How can Mary carry such a responsibility, nurturing the Saviour into life? Mary would not yet be able to see signs of change, but a change had begun. Had Mary not accepted the news and said yes to God, then there would be no Christmas, no Good Friday, no Easter. We have all experienced many changes in our lives over the last 12 months especially. Changes that we probably wouldn't have predicted at the beginning of 2020. Like Mary, we have had to adapt to changes in our lives, often at very short notice. For us as Christians, we have learnt to find new ways to enjoy fellowship, to sing lustily and with good courage, and to share the bread and wine together within heaven's beauty of holiness. And yet, if it wasn't for change in the last 12 months, I wonder whether perhaps we would have reached out to communities in the ways that we have. If it wasn't for live streaming, we wouldn't be able to connect with Christians who join us regularly from Cyprus and from Wales, to name 2 countries. Through live streaming services, we are still able to connect with the worship. The sacramental life of the church is still alive in us. I mentioned earlier about the 13th century image of Mary punching Satan. In this image, Mary is significantly taller than the devil. A bit like Sandra and Tom, I suppose. Stronger than the devil, and smiling as she fights the devil. And Mary is winning the fight. The image depicts Mary as an active participant in the salvation of the world, which, when we think about it, is exactly what Mary was. So today, on the Feast of the Annunciation, let's be ready to be servants of the Lord. Let's be active participants in the faith. And, in the words of the Sincerity Prayer, accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and wisdom to know the difference.